Alright guys, just saying here, back for another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And for today's showcase, we're going to be looking at the INT Dokkan Festival Majin Vegeta. Now this guy is approaching a year old, which is really crazy to think about, because we are about to get Sunday in March. And of course, as of recording this, we're in January, so we're very close to that. And I really got no idea what Sunday can be. I mean, possibly we could see a Battle of Gods Super Saiyan God Goku. We could see maybe another Broly, which I doubt because we just got the Broly the year before the Majin Vegeta Sunday. So I don't think we would get at least a Z Broly, but I guess it's possible we could maybe see a Dragon Ball Super Broly or something like that. But anyway, yeah, Sunday is coming up, so I guess it does kind of fit doing a showcase on this guy as well. But I mean, yeah, he is one of the better aging Dokkan Fest. Of course, he works well with probably one of the best units in the game, but I'm not actually bringing him because when he works on the LR Vegeta and Trunks' team, I mean, he works on there, of course, but he doesn't get the full 200% leader skill, so he doesn't work as well as he would on his team. So I did want to bring him on this team because we can provide him with a ton of support. He's going to have a lot of his links active because we are bringing other Vegetas. So yeah, before we get into his details though, just make sure you guys like and subscribe. Keep in mind there are timestamps in the video, so if you guys want to skip to the Cell Max test or the Legendary Vegeta event test, absolutely feel free to do that. And I mean, yeah, without further ado, let's get into this guy's kit. So starting off with his leader skill, it is Majin Buu Saga or Vegeta family, category Ki +3, and then 170 across the board. And then he gives an additional 30% for HP attack and defense to characters who belong on the Gifted Warriors category. So this is really good because this is pretty much all Vegetas. And also, I think this Majin Vegeta is the best Majin Buu Saga lead, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think we have a better Majin Buu Saga leader than him. So, I mean, him being the best Majin Buu Saga lead, I mean, that's a pretty useful thing to have, because that category is, it's for sure, it's aged out a little because we haven't gotten as many buffs to it, but it's still a pretty solid category, and I could see us getting some really hyped celebrations around it. I mean, as you probably saw, Goresh did have a theory for what he thought the 8th year anniversary was going to be, and he did speculate it's going to be Majin Buu Saga, so a lot of really good easy A's we could see here. You know, of course, we could still get an LR Kid Buu. We can get an LR standalone Super Saiyan 3 Goku. We can get the Spirit Bomb as well. We can get like an LR for him. So this category is going to get, it's going to become really crazy once we start getting the big celebrations around it again. But for now, it's a little weaker. But because he is probably the best lead for it right now, still, there's some value in that. So yeah, really good leader skill. And then for a super attack effect, he gets 30% attack and defense and then causes immense damage to enemy. So not really too much, but the 30% attack and defense is still pretty useful because if you give him some additionals, you can get 2 of these and then you get 60% defense for that one turn, which is pretty useful. And just because of this, I do suggest you go full additionals with him, just because if you double super combined with his high amount of damage reduction, if you can get, of course, an even higher amount of defense because you double supered, like I said, that combined with the damage reduction would be really, really useful. So full additionals for this guy is what I suggest. Unfortunately, I don't have him built like that because it's a private server, but I mean, still, you should go full additionals. And getting into this, so he activates the entrance animation once only, and then he reduces damage received by 30% for the rest of the battle when there's an ally whose name includes Trunks on the team. So we do have a Trunks on the team. Now, the cool thing about this restriction is that it's not just restricted to a kid Trunks. It can be an adult Trunks like we have here. So it is really useful there. I mean, obviously, the reason he works so well with the LR Vegeta and Trunks is because that is a Trunks, and Trunks is in the name, and it's an adult Trunks, so he does get the 30% damage reduction. And then after that, he gets 180% attack and defense at start of turn. He gets an additional attack and defense plus 50% when performing a super attack. He gets an additional defense plus 50% with 3 or more Ki Spheres obtained. And then he reduces damage received by 20% with 6 or more Ki Spheres obtained. And then he gets an additional attack plus 88%, and then randomly changes Ki Spheres of a certain type he randomly changes a certain type of Ki Spheres to int, and then he only does it when HP is 88% or less. So, I mean, it is a little unfortunate that this is only restricted to him being below 88% HP, but I mean, most of the events in this game hit pretty hard, so if you take a super attack, you'll probably fall below 88% HP. So for sure, I don't really think this is that big of a deal. I would say the worst thing about this guy actually is probably the fact that you need 6 orbs to get the 20% damage reduction, because, I mean, if you just get unlucky with key spheres, that for sure can be kind of rough. And I mean, if you are below 88% HP, of course he's changing key spheres to int, and then you'll have a much easier time getting that. But if you're not below 88% HP, then that could cause some issues. But maybe you just bring some Rainbow Orb Changers on the team and you'll be fine. So yeah, pretty good passive. I would say the damage reduction, it goes really well with just his levels of defense because he's got a ton of attack and defense going on here. And then getting into this guy's active skill. The condition for it is that it can be activated after the character receives an attack 6 or more times in battle. So I mean, that's pretty easy to get activated. You shouldn't have any difficulties with that. And the effect is that it performs a critical hit within the turn activated. So that's for sure really good. He greatly raises attack temporarily. He causes mega colossal damage to all enemy and then stuns them for 1 turn. But then unfortunately he does sacrifice 18% HP, which is a pretty big number. So I don't really think you should just be throwing this out there, especially if you're in difficult events where you can take a lot of damage, because 18% is a pretty big amount, especially now with, you know, these teams having like 800k HP. 18% that's a lot of HP. So you don't want to just kind of sacrifice that without thinking about how it would actually affect you. But anyway, yeah, pretty good active skill. The HP, him sacrificing HP for sure is a little weird, and it can be wonky in some scenarios, but still he's going to be doing a ton of damage with the guaranteed crits, and the guaranteed stun is really useful. And this guy's links are Sand Warrior Race, Sand Pride, Royal Lineage, Super Saiyan. I said it in the wrong order, sorry. So it's Sand Warrior Race, Super Saiyan, Royal Lineage, Sand Pride, Over in a Flash, Supreme Power, and Fierce Battle. And this guy's categories are Majin Buu Saga, Vegeta Family, Gifted Warrior, Resurrected Warriors, Pure Saiyans, Worthy Rivals, Super Saiyan 2, Final Trump Card, All Out Struggle, Connected Hope, Corroded Body and Mind, Power Beyond Super Saiyan, and Bond of Parent and Child. So I mean, yeah, of course he's got a ton of categories. He's a Vegeta, so he's on really good categories like Pure Saiyans. He's on Power Beyond Super Saiyan, Bond of Parent and Child. Majin Buu Saga could get extremely good in the future. Vegeta's Family is really good. And a lot of these other categories will become really good in time with 200% leads. So no equipment on him, unfortunately, because it's a private server. As you can see, he's level 10 links. And yeah, let's go ahead and cut to when we are in the Legendary Vegeta event.
Trunks, この先を見ろ。まだ見ぬ敵よ。宇宙最強。お前が誇り高きサイヤ人の血を引く者ならば、俺の息子ならば、誰にも負けることは許さん。俺、超えてみせます。目の前の敵も、父さんも。トランクス、お前は赤ん坊の頃から一度も抱いてやったことがなかったな。抱かせてくれ。
なんだよパパ、やめてよ、恥ずかしいよ。
元気でな、トランクス。
Wow, yeah, both of those look really good. I think especially the Majin Vegetas, because Majin Vegeta is a fan favorite from a lot of Dragon Ball fans. So the fact that he got a Dokkan Fest with really good animations, he for sure deserved it. So right here, we're going to be 4 out of 7 links active. We do have a little bit of support from the Int Vegeta in slot 3, and I'm going to slap him in slot 1 so the LR Vegeta and Trunks don't kill. But right here, we are going to be able to get 7 key spheres. So all of his key restrictions and his passive and all that are up right now. So we do have a really good rotation with him. And right here, we're at 231k defense start of turn. So that might not seem the craziest to you now, but you do have to consider we get 50% when performing a super from our passive. So that will set us well over 300k. And then we get the 30% on super attack effect. So then that would set us around 400k. So a little, well, not around, a little under 400k, but still, almost 400k defense with 50% damage reduction right here is really good defensive, or that's a really good defensive number alongside a really high amount of damage reduction. So let's see what attacks that he can get to right here. I'm not really expecting anything too crazy, but let's still see what we're looking at. So yeah, pretty much a 5 million on the dot attacks that. Not really that impressive considering he has no built-in additionals, criticals. He isn't super effective against all types or anything like that. So for sure, I mean, in terms of damage, that wasn't really that good of a rotation. However, almost 400k defense with 50% damage reduction is really good. And if we did get an additional super, which if you build him full additionals, you of course could, if you have him 79%, you could give him 15 additionals, and then that means you have a 30% chance to do an additional super attack, which is basically like having a medium chance in his passive. So as long as you build him with some additionals, he'll have a pretty good chance to do an additional super. And then if you get that off, then obviously you'll have that extra 30% defensive increase, and then you could start to approach 500k defense with the 50% damage reduction and your double supering, so you're going to be doing a lot more damage. But without that, I don't really think this guy's going to be doing that much damage. But regardless, right here, we're 4 out of 7 links. We have the 50% support from the 50% support Vegeta. And, I mean, overall, a pretty good rotation, kind of similar to the previous one. And right here, we're at 206k start of turn defense, so not really the craziest. I don't want to kill right here, so I'm only going to get those 7 orbs. And then, yeah, we're going to get 10 key spheres with the Majin Vegeta. And then that puts us at 237k defense, which, again, we get the 50% from our passive, we get the 30% from our super attack effect, and we have the 50% damage reduction right here. So taking all of that into consideration, I would say that he is looking pretty impressive right here. So let's see what his attack stat is, and we'll get a couple more rotations with him, and then we'll cut to the Cell Max event, because this Vegeta doesn't really build up or anything, so I don't really have to stay here for that long, because, of course, he's going to be looking the same. His performance is going to be the same throughout the whole run, but, alright, a 5.2 million attack stat right there. Once again, not really too impressive. We did get the crit off right there for 4.15 million damage. And I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, with the crit, we did some good damage for sure. But we did not have that built in our kit, so that was just him relying on his hidden potential stuff. And yeah, right here, 175k defense, but I think we lost out on attack support, unfortunately. So we're going to be looking a little weaker offensively. And I don't even think we can get... can we get 6 key spheres? Oh, we can get 5, so just barely. Alright, well, we're not going to have 50% damage reduction right here, but we are still going to have the 30%. And we did get the 50% defense with the 3 key spheres. So right here, we're at 206k defense. But then, of course, we get the 50% from our super attack effect, or like in our passive. And then we get the 30% from our actual super attack. So, I mean, defensively right here, we are approaching 400k, which, I mean, that's pretty good with 30% damage reduction. With 50%, it'd be a lot better, but still, that's not horrible. Now, hopefully we don't kill right here. I probably should not have put this guy in slot 1. Just don't crit or get an additional. Okay, you crit. And we got an additional, but it was an additional normal. Alright, cool. We didn't kill. So how much damage is Majin Vegeta looking at right here? Keep in mind, the Ultimate Gohan is not giving any attack support. So 4.4 million damage. Or 4.4 million attack stat. Yeah, I mean, we killed still. 3.67 million damage. That was a little higher because we had type advantage, of course, but not really too impressive. I think the damage from this Majin Vegeta is not really the main thing you're going to think of when you think of this unit. I would say his defense is probably more useful. I mean, don't get me wrong, his active skill can still hit extremely hard because it is the guaranteed crit. But, I mean, there's a lot of things that go with the active skill that I would kind of advise against it, right? Because you sacrifice 18% HP. And it's going to do damage, but he isn't stacking attack or anything like that. So it's not really going to do that much damage. And I don't really think you're going to want to do like, I mean, what, 2, 3, 4 million damage with the crit and sacrifice 18% of your HP. I don't really think that's worth the amount of damage you're doing. So I don't really think this guy's going to be doing too much damage. I know I've said that a couple times already, but I guess I just got to stress it. But I mean, in terms of his defense, even right here, I mean, he's going to be looking pretty good. Let's, yeah, let's get that with you, and then we can get 7 key spheres. So we have all of the restrictions in his passive up right now. We have his full passive up right now, and we're at 231k defense start of turn. So almost 400k defense after we get all the attacking defense from him performing a super attack with the 50% damage reduction. So that is extremely good. So we'll go ahead and showcase him right here. And then we'll showcase him on the next rotation as well. And we'll nuke with him then. And then we will cut to the Cell Max event because there's not really much else to show. I'll try and get the active skill in the Cell Max event if we can't get it right here. So I'm not really too worried about that. But yeah, I mean, 4.7 million attack stat. Not really that great, but it's some damage for sure. I mean, it could be a lot worse. And you do got to keep in mind, he is also approaching a year old, as I said earlier in the video. So, power creep is kind of showing with this guy a little. I mean, you could see that he is looking a little less impressive than he did day one. But, I mean, he even had kind of a revamp with the Vegeta and Trunks because, of course, he has a really good spot on their team. Unfortunately, as I said earlier, too, he does not get the full 200% leader skill because he's not on Battle of Fate. I just want to double check really quick so I don't look like an idiot. Yeah, he is not on Battle of Fate, so he does not get that extra 30% buff from their leader skill, but he is still getting the 170% lead, and he does obviously have that 50% damage reduction, so in the right scenarios, he can look really good even on their team. But, okay, right here, we are going to nuke with him. I'm going to go ahead and use these. Now, hopefully we get lucky with Key Spheres. Okay, I mean, that's not that lucky. Can we get some more? We did not. Okay, wow, we only got 11. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut to when we have a better rotation with our Key Spheres, so we can get a little bit more lucky with the nuking item. Okay, so we are back in the Legendary Vegeta event, and I saw that we could pop his active skill, so I wanted to get this in the video. Keep in mind, we have double support right here with both of the Vegetas, so, I mean, this will probably do a ton of damage. Alright, I mean, a 3.1 million crit, that's some pretty good damage. And, I mean, of course, we can't stun the enemy right now, but he would have gotten the stun if the enemy could have been stunned. And, yeah, we did sacrifice a little bit of HP, which, again, that really does suck. I think that is probably the main thing with this guy that kind of makes it to where I don't want to do his active skill, just because it does sacrifice that much HP. But, let's see if we can get lucky with Key Spheres right here. None? Really? I did a whole cut into the event again, and okay, 12, and we get 13 right there. I guess I'll do this. I'll get, or wait, he's gonna die anyway. Oh, this is so bad. All right, we're just gonna do this anyway. So, 347k defense start of turn. Now, you do have to keep in mind, the reason that this is so high is because his active skill does count as a super attack. So he does get that 50% attack and defense from his passive that is typically restricted behind performing a super attack, but his active skill does count as that. So we are at 347k defense right here, and we do get the 30% on super attack, so that would set us at around 500k defense, which is really good because obviously we are going to have the 50% damage reduction. So we can get 13 Key Spheres right there. I'm not really expecting an insane attack stat because we didn't really get that lucky with Key Spheres, but we did still get to see his active skill, and we have a ton of support right here. So I'm still expecting a pretty good number. But we are taking a super attack. I don't think this guy lowers defense. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. I mean, this is the last rotation until we get in the Cell Max event, but alright, yeah, 7.3 million attack stat. Not really that impressive considering we nuked with him, but I guess we didn't really get that many Key Spheres, so it's understandable. Maybe we'll nuke again with him in the Cell Max event if we get a good rotation, but yeah, let's go ahead and cut to when we are in there. Alright, so we are here in the Cell Max event, and right here we've got an amazing rotation. We're going to have 4 out of 7 links active, but we do have the 50% support from the Int Vegeta right here, the 50% support Int Vegeta. And I gotta say, making a team to run in Cell Max was extremely easy. I don't know why, but Dokkan has a thing with making pretty much every Vegeta unit intelligence. So every unit on here is intelligence, and of course, they will all fare up pretty well because they have type advantage right here. But unfortunately, we did get locked in slot 1, so I'm going to go ahead and pop a Sensu Bean. And, alright, so we're only going to have 3 out of 7 links, not 4 out of 7. But anyway, right here, again, 3 out of 7 links. We have 50% support from this Vegeta. And start of turn, we're at 227k defense. Now, alright, we got unlucky with Key Spheres, so I'm just going to, you know, go ahead and nuke with him. We got to get some redemption for the nuke earlier because we got really unlucky with Key Spheres. Okay, so 12. I mean, I just don't think we're supposed to get lucky with key spheres. I think we're just supposed to be pretty unlucky today. So, I mean, it is what it is. We'll still take 12. We'll still probably hit a higher attack stat than previously because the last attack stat, we had some rainbow key spheres in the mix, but this time it was just 12 straight intelligence key spheres. So, we will still hit a really high attack stat, but let's see how much damage he has taken. Okay, so we're getting super before we super attack, and we take 248k damage. Wow. I mean, okay, 11.3, actually, that's really good. But of course, I mean, we nuked with him. But wow, we took under 300k damage from Cell Max's super before we even supered. And yeah, I mean, no figure, he's taken double digits from his normals. So, I mean, that is extremely impressive. We managed to survive a Cell Max super with around half our health. And it was before we even super attacked. So if you throw this guy in slot 2 or 3 and he gets supered, we would be taking like probably under 100k from that. Especially if we get lucky with like double supers and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, extremely good. Really impressive in terms of his defense right there. That has been the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think of this Majin Vegeta down in the comments. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.